In today's film, we'll be talking about restarts and some of the problems that can occur if we don't execute them properly. We want to resume play quickly, but not with pants on fire. This is where we continuously get ourselves in trouble. A restart that happens too quickly is when we put ourselves in jeopardy of criticism. Errors seem to compound in these cases. We also have to be ready, not just the players. Consider the following during restarts. First, if the defense doesn't comply and plays the ball, you need to call a penalty. Secondly, we shouldn't put the defensive player in a no-win situation when he's trying to comply. Everyone has the right to understand what your call was and be able to see your visual signal. For example, if the player entitled to possession has already taken off from where he's supposed to have his restart, and you're still in the process of completing your signals, bring him back to the proper spot for the restart. After shots out of bounds on the end line, we've been fairly consistent in bringing players to the proper spot before restarting the play, within a few feet of where the ball went out of bounds, even to the point of waiting several seconds before we restart play. Shouldn't we strive to be consistent on restarts, especially if the player has gained an advantage he is not entitled to? Remember, the defense can restart in the attack goal area or even in the crease. This should be easy to manage. Keep in mind the crease is 18 feet in diameter and the goal line is centered in it. This leaves only 3 yards from goal line to the top of the crease. Be careful with this restart. Remember not to let an offensive player get a full-out running restart from out of bounds, but a rolling stop is okay. He must establish himself in bounds prior to the official blowing his whistle. Turnover restarts. When a turnover occurs, warding off, interference, etc., there is always some degree of uncertainty as to what the call is and which team will have possession on the restart. Oftentimes, one player will check the cross of the ball carrier, trying to knock the ball out, in anticipation of gaining an advantage on a quick restart. If this happens, the team gaining possession has lost the opportunity for a quick restart. By not allowing the official the time to signal the call, they forfeit any restart advantage they may have had. If we call this consistently, players will understand this concept and wait for our whistle to restart play. As we watch the beginning of this clip, the offensive team moves the ball around the perimeter, ultimately taking a shot, which is saved by the goalie, and goes out of bounds behind the cage. As the offensive team goes to restart, there are 3 players near to the ball when the whistle blows. There is some confusion about who has the ball on the restart. The offensive team ends up shooting and scoring. Notice where each player is on the restart relative to each other. It is certainly questionable whether each of the players is within 5 yards of each other. The officials should be much more patient when restarting a play like this. As you can see, one of the players pretends to pick up the ball. The official blows the whistle. The player who has the ball, who has just stepped in bounds, begins to execute a hidden ball trick with his teammate. It is unclear whether those players were more than 5 yards apart at the restart. The goalie has time to recover, but the defender does not. Keep in mind, perform restarts quickly but controlled. If you're consistent throughout the game, you'll eliminate many restart issues. In summary, do we want quick restarts? Absolutely. Do we want restarts that create chaos? No. Do we want quick but controlled restarts? Yes.